Right, Tuesday markets just closed. Beautiful day for gold, silver, and the miners, especially the miners for once. Market was closed yesterday. I mean, commodities were running. We saw silver up, gold up. Here, trading view sort of readjusted to sort of make Monday skipped. It goes from Friday to Tuesday, but it was up. But we make a nice little average. So gold up 3.5% if you take the 2 days. Huge move. Ideal candle. Obviously, there's Greenland, the tariffs. Honestly, everything that happens is extra bullish for gold. The fundamentals, from all right, monetary policy, macroeconomics, fiscal, geopolitical, data, anything that happens is just, and it's not like, oh, so it's perfect, so sell. It's like, no, it's perfect for the short, medium, and long term. But we've been going on for some time. All right, so gold up huge, 4,750 above that we closed. I said pick your number at this rate, 5,000. 5,000, that's a nice number, isn't it? And at this rate, we're going to get there, I don't know, end of January. Is that ridiculous? No, 5% is doable in 2 days. It's absolutely, it's surpassing even bullish predictions at this rate. I mean, 5,000, it was like a target for the whole year, right? At this rate, we're going to get there before the end of the month. Silver, all right, gold candle is ideal, right? Like breakout, open up, low of day, close a high of day, gaps up, etc., etc. You've also got the DXY going down, by the way. Not that it's really relevant, but I just feel like we're gonna bounce and then flush 96, 95, and then boom, down to 90s. That'll just be extra fuel. All right, silver. Not as strong a day as gold. I mean, it did beat it in percentage terms, but that's almost meaningless. We closed sort of middle of the day, middle of the range, sorry. But we touched 96. We closed 94.5-ish. Tomorrow, I mean, let's be honest, maybe by tonight, right, the Chinese wake up and start buying. Once we cross the high of history, 95.7, we'll probably cross 96 and basically $100 will be reached before 5,000 is reached. It's pretty similar though, 6%. The other one was 5, but 6% is a lot easier in silver than 5% in gold. That's pretty impressive actually. So, and I don't think we're gonna. I mean, the first thing we'll do is we'll go towards 99.7, come down, and then, oh, is that the high? Is that it? And the next day we go test 100, we go straight through, and it's like 101. That I feel like we'll slice through 100 after testing it one day. I don't know. We're gonna get to 100, that's for sure, and we'll get to 100 before we get to 5,000. But gold and silver on fire. Let's check miners. I think we are slow, like we are starting to outperform. Let me just do this straight away. Let's do the one everyone's been looking at. Let's just do SilJ versus Silver, right? Bottom of the absolute range. All right, this is just forget 2016. Basically, this is multi-year. You could almost say half a decade. Multi-year low, right? We touched it, we bounced. But normally you'd get there like when gold and silver were just going down and hitting absolute rock bottom. And here it's inverted. It's like we're hitting rock bottom as the price of the metals go up and up and up. And I think we hit a bottom, and I think we're gonna go back up, at least to this area, if not higher. But I think the charts look really good. Let's go back to GDX, right? And this is me looking at the next level, 100 went straight through. We went through 100 if it wasn't there. We just gapped above it. And we may never even close this gap. And people talking about windows closing. No, no, no. This is a permanent draft. We will not be going down and close this window. Definitely not this one. So here we go. We closed the high of day, 102. No point in zooming out. We breached all the latest records a long time ago. It's just up and up, right? Basically, GDX equals 5,000 gold is probably your level for GDX to base on resistance because it's mainly senior gold related. GDXJ is the only mining ETF that still has resistance, and we don't have that much left compared to before. So here we're into a gap area. Whoops. So for those who care, and I don't even care that much because I'm just looking at the price of gold or silver. If gold's going up, GDXJ will go up. But go on, let's look at this. We are this little blue line, 140. That's your gap fill. Nice number. After that, we've got this little 156.5, 157. I don't think we have much. And then after that, it's just the all-time high, basically. It's 180. We might stop off probably around here, you know. But that's the last ETF you've got, basically. Everything else, there's no point in zooming out. And how much a percentage move? 30%. That is not difficult to get to, 30%. So otherwise, GDXJ, close at high of day. Next off is that 140 gap close. That is how far away? Yeah, 3%. That is absolutely nothing. That is almost a pre-market move. And actually, something that's happened a lot recently is pre-market is when you hit your high of day. It's like the market's open. I'm talking about the miners. Market's open and you just sort of go down, you have a little bounce, but you never go test the pre-market high. Today, I might as well show you on my favorite chart. I thought it was going to happen. Down we go. And then, oh no, we basically closed the high of day. And that's not happened. Maybe it happened there, but basically it's not really happened recently, other than maybe Friday. But we're starting to slowly outperform, and you can see that through that chart I showed you when you compare SILJ to silver. But that's GDXJ. Let's check out SIL, which used to be the other chart that has not taken out its old high, but that has since happened. So we took out 94. Another one that went straight through 100, right? Like GDX. Actually, that's quite funny. They're kind of priced at the same number. Closed at a higher day, after hours even higher. I like this candle, the hammer, but instead of like hammers normally you find when you're sort of going down, it's like a reversal signal. But this just means, we want to hammer upwards even more. So I like that hammer. So SIL becomes a bit like GDX and SILJ, just no point in zooming out anymore. Nice candle, and SILJ finally closed really at high of day and going higher, after hours. Perfect candles across the board. Gold, silver. Silver could have been better, but good. I don't mind silver sort of going up a little bit now and the miners outperforming because we've had it the other way around. And actually, I prefer silver being red and the miners going up because I don't even own silver. I own gold, physical, palladium. Don't know why palladium. I just bought that. I thought it would catch up with platinum. But basically, gold is the only metal I really own. Otherwise, it's just the miners. So I like to see that miners outperform. Um, by the way, S&P, look at that. Because a lot of people are saying we will see the miners really go when the market starts to drop, and I was like, really? That's You're looking forward to that? Because so far the market's basically been going up. We've just completely outperformed. But today it was, I'm looking at the other sectors, and I'm in some other sectors that kind of follow gold, right? Critical metals weren't really down. Uranium was also kind of sideways. Copper, nickel, they weren't really following the markets. But I have a few, I'm in 3D printing, space, AI, not really, robotics, more like quantum computing. They usually follow the market and they were a bit red. But then I looked at the real markets, like the micro strategies, the bitcoins, right? Look at this, Ethereum creamed in the face. I know you guys don't care about this, and neither do I, but just all the markets were absolutely slaughtered today. And you can see close at low of day. It's the opposite candle of the miners. And that is extra beautiful. And I think that's noteworthy. All right, let's go straight to the portfolio. I haven't done I had my daughter sick the whole of last week, so couldn't do a video. But what a day to do a video. New all-time high is portfolio all over the place, of course. Newmont follows GDX, follows GDX, perfect candle, up we go. There's no resistance. 120 is meaningless. These numbers are meaningless. If it was 150, I would say it's meaningless. Gold wants to go to 5,000. Silver wants to test 100. That's all you need to know. And I think the miners won't stop until those candles are created. Maybe we're going to test 100. I think we're going to test 100 easily. 5,000 might be a bit harder to breach through. That should be resistance. GDX should sort of, reverse once gold's at 5,000. I mean, it'd be healthy, it would be logical. If it didn't happen, it would be like, are we in a complete bubble here? But anyway, I see no reason to stop the upward momentum. Barrack does have resistance, one of the few charts out there. Very clear, huge number, 50. I already sold 50. Yeah. All right, so that kind of explains why it was only up 2.5%. It's got individual chart resistance. After that, basically nothing until 56, which is the final resistance. Maybe this little area will create a little gunfire resistance, but nothing between from 50 to 56. It's like 10% move. That should be accomplished with gold hitting 5,000. That would be nice and poetic. But look at these, like it's just so incredible. All right, next one, Agnico Eagle. That one did nicely today, 6%. That's what I'm talking about. 6% beast move. Agnico, the best of the best. 200's long gone. Actually, no, that's as of now. You see, these big numbers are irrelevant. Up like close a high of day, candle is just like gold, just like GDX, ideal, justified. Next, Pan America. This one was strong throughout the day, actually. It's just up. Actually, didn't even close a high of day, but it probably will by tomorrow. Be trading 60. 60 is the big number. No point in zooming out. And I think we can get through 60 before $100 on silver, obviously. So no number really matters here. I just see it outperforming silver, outperforming SIL, and taking out 60 maybe tomorrow as silver continues. We're getting so used to going up. I think we do deserve to get smashed on. I think, cold shower, just a slap in the face now and then because I just feel how arrogant almost I am. Just like every day is an up day. But it probably will be an update tomorrow. All right, next one, Wheaton. Another wonderful, like 4.5% gap up, close at high of day, roughly, especially after hours. Another one, another beast stock, best of the best. Franco Nevada, another one, 4%. It did do quite well the day before. I remember Friday. Complete all-time highs. I remember this one suffering down here. Yeah, it was down here. I was buying it, even flipping it. And here we are. Yeah, so it did kind of close in the middle of the day. It looks like a silver candle, but it's not that far from looking really good. If it just went up a few more cents, it would end up looking like a beautiful candle like all the others. Still up 4% almost. No complaints. Very nice. Now, where I do have complaints is on the other royalty stock. Metalla is starting to up only 1.5%. It's really failed to, like, it hasn't moved in 2 weeks. Wait, how many? 3 weeks? What is that? 4 weeks? What is this? It's a month just hanging around here. It's it's just decided to take a vacation at 850. It is not breaching 850. Like, fair enough, it's gone from mid twos all the way to 850, so fair enough. But still, everyone else is on their way to the equivalent of 11 here. And this guy can't even get to 860. We need an 860 plus close. I didn't really trim, by the way. I talking about trimming because I did trim Metallic today. I just did a little 5% trim or maybe less. I don't even know. I don't even know how many shares it was. Small trim just because it pissed me off. I thought at one point I thought we were going to start going down. I thought, oh, you never know, it could be the top. So I started to sell the weakest ones. I had a good till cancel fill on B2 gold at 479, was it? Um, which is actually quite a bad sell because it went to 491 in the end, didn't it? But this one here, I trimmed, forgot where, kind of where it is. It spent the whole day in the same place. And then one or two silver stocks trim. I'll get there. But anyway, this one is just don't know. It had this period before where it underperformed, and then all of a sudden it outperformed. It kind of does it in its own time. But obviously we need to close above 860 and start running to 11. And there's actually not really resistance between 860 and 11. I mean, 1050, but same thing. But anyway, just a standout poor performance. I am gold, rather the opposite. I don't even know it must have been news. It must have been news. Um, but for some reason, I don't know what it is. I was looking on stock twits, couldn't find it. I was about to go to AI and ask, and I never got round to it because everything else was going crazy, but 16%, 15 and a half, gap up, open at low of day, close at high of day, keeps going after hours, so basically at 20. Incredible, like by far the best out of my portfolio. Next up is 20.5, which is pretty close and pretty guaranteed by tomorrow. And we are going to get to the all-time high in iron gold. And I was in this one at 303 or something. Next up is 2059. I don't even think I'm going to trim that. I think gold's going to go for 5,000. I think iron gold very poetically is going to end up hitting its all-time high, 18% for a 5% gold move is quite a lot, but maybe gold goes through and goes up another day, and then it does happen. Basically, 26 is your level, and after that, you're all the way at 2350. I'll probably be selling 2289 just to make sure I kind of get the top. But yeah, absolutely ideal day, ideal candle. Um, I don't know, I can't really say anything else. Equinox though, which I usually compare these two. I was looking at Equinox, it was kind of poor compared to I Am Gold. And then it started to shoot. Look at the 3 minutes chart. Look at that. I think it was the best performer, like late runner, just the last 3 hours or something. Just boom, boom, high highs, higher lows. I was like, what the hell's going on? Last time I looked at it, it was up 4% or something, and here we are at 10. So in the end, I don't know what happened, but beautiful candle. You know, that gap opens not that high, which proves it really was up only a couple percentage points. But what a close, really. And I don't know, there is no level, right? Normally I'd say 16. No, there's no level. It's just gold 5,000. That's it. Like gold 5,000, silver 100, and then GDXJ. I've forgotten the numbers, but you know, the next horizontal level up, basically. Um, yeah, that's it. So, very good performance from Equinox. Next, B2 Gold. This one did better than I thought. I thought 479 would be resistance as per usual. I think I had a good till cancel in there, which connected probably quite quickly as soon as it opened. Next is 519. I remember that. 519. I'm gonna have to move that up. I will remember to do that. I'll do that later. Because this one I'm willing to hold, and to be honest, gold's gonna go to 5,000. So this will probably end up all the way at six. To be honest, I think it's going to finally outperform because it's finally broken out of this range, which is more stubborn than Metalla, and 20% is doable because when B2 Gold's in the move, it can do that in like a week. So let's see. Next one, Aris Mining, which also did great. Look at that 8%. This one is a beast. And I don't know how to judge the cells. Jesus, we completed the gap fills. I didn't even notice. And here we are just running towards I don't know, 20. Well, we're at 20 now. What are we at? 1960, 70. It's the same as 20. So forget 20, especially if tomorrow we're going to have another update. Next level, I don't know. 26. What? How do you judge this? How do you sell that? That's a 35% move. That's ridiculous. Because even though we're in some weird chart, literally uncharted territory, it still acts reasonably. Like it's up 8%. That is quite incredible, but it's still reasonable, right? On a day like today. I mean, Equinox was up 10, I am gold 15. So it's not like it's gonna do 35% because it's got a crazy chart. So it'll end up just reasonably heading up, but eventually hitting 26. I've got no sales for Aris Mining. This one's a I always talk about what it's done. Like every single time I cover one of these stocks, I just want to talk about, it's just incredible. Next one, Harmony, which I can't sell for 6 months since buying it. When did I buy it here? September. And then I added to it, I forgot where, Jesus. I added to it here, November. But anyway, average is there, but it's more about the time. After 6 months, I don't pay any taxes. And I think holding, to be honest, if I held all my stocks, I'd probably be better off anyway. This one, I'm just going to be forced to hold it. A bit like my juniors, by the way. My juniors, I'm definitely holding. I'm not trimming. I'm not even trimming 2%. I'm just a bit like Harmony. I don't trim unless I pass six months of holding it, which would be like into March or April or something. But yeah, this is almost 100% too. Basically, 13 was my first buy, and we're almost at 26. The candle isn't as good as the others. Didn't close at high of day, but pretty good. Still up 5.5%. New all-time historic high, right? Yeah. So great. Not as good as the others, but still very, very good. SBSW, more of a platinum palladium, but I always lump it in there anyway. I didn't really pay attention to this one. It was only up 3%. Normally I'd expect 6 or something from today. What did platinum and palladium do? Yeah, palladium was up 4%. Basically, it needs to take out 17, its last high, 1770. Then, yeah, I agree with this. Then it runs to 1850, where I've got no sell, or I should have a tiny sell because after that is the last of the last. It's the 20 bucks, a place where I expect heavy resistance, like everyone else. A bit like silver 50 bucks kind of thing. There I will sell. In fact, I might add a bit more power to my sell at 1850 just because it's the second last. And then honestly, it'll probably break out and keep going because platinum and palladium are not done and gold and silver aren't done. I'm not going to close my position because I just don't know what other platinum and palladium stocks to go into because that's not finished. Like I'm in nickel, copper, uranium, and I'm in platinum, palladium, and I'm in it until I see the thesis change, and thesis is not going to change. I do know a few PLG, PGE, AIR, SPD, but I don't know. Anyway, I'll still trim, but very nice. Let's look at the silver stocks. AG. Now this one, remember silver's candle was not as good as gold's, but this one hit resistance exactly where I have it. The descending, right? The horizontals are easy, boom, 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 but the descending is actually where it hit perfectly. Quite proud of that. And I did trim. I trimmed all of them, tiny bit, little 2.5% kind of trim, because I still think we're gonna go through 100. But just in case I'm wrong, sell something. It's like a ceremonial sell. I don't know where I sold the first Majestic. I can't be bothered to. There's like 40 trades today. But yeah, I would have sold this area. I got the more. Like I can tell you, my next one is going to be probably 23.99. And I think I hit a few pre-market actually. And now that I'm thinking about that, CDE, for example, I ended up selling at 24.13. That number comes to mind. Even though half the day we spent below that area, it was like a pre-market. Like pre-market, we still did get some high numbers. Most of the stocks kept going, as you know, we like closed the high of day, but some of them, like CD, didn't. Anyway, First Majestic was okay, and it hit this descending resistance. It's like a kind of long-term descending. It is a long term. What am I talking about? It's like a decade long. Of course, that's relevant. So I think that's why I ended up stalling just below 23. But yeah, next stop I got 24. Nice and easy. Clear there and there. After that, I've got this level, 25. Nice and easy. After that, 25.50. I could put that in, but honestly, once we take out 25, we're probably going to make a beeline for 27. So those are levels, and I think they're correct. And today looked good. Anyway, despite this little red color, it was still up 4.5%. That's okay. Kind of equals silver. That's okay. Next, CD pissed me off today. The day before, on that Friday, it did a glorious 8% or something, if I remember. And then pre-market, I swear, we were 24 something. I trimmed at 24 something. I thought that's it. CD is finally reclaiming its old behavior, just outperforming everyone, just absolutely slaughtering everyone in the room. And then it was red, wasn't it? At one point, I swear to God, it was red. Look at this. Just absolute disgusting behavior. Is that it? Yeah, 20th. Yeah, it was red or something. And to be honest, it just annoyed me the whole day. It did, it should have just broken out of this thing. This is my little intraday. I was waiting for a breakout. See, if I just compare Heckler to that, we're going to move to Heckler anyway, but you know what I mean? Look at the difference. All right. So to finish on CD, I think fair enough. It's because it had resistance also. It decided to respect it up here, double top, but not double top like go back down. I'm talking about tomorrow we no longer respect the double top and we close above 23.50. Basically, silver running to 100 bucks, you're going to get CD at 26, 25.50 winning. I think we're going to start hitting that line. And then, if we keep running 110 in silver, I think CD starts to really outperform. It just had to do a final moment of respect here, and then up we go because the miners are starting to outperform the metals. All right, that's CDE. Next one is Heckler.
Connection reestablished.
All right, Heckler, beautiful candle. Close at high day, still running after hours. This one has been the strongest out of all the silver miners. I mean, this is just an obscene move up. Obscene. This is for the textbooks. I have to go to weekly, and even in weekly, it's just I don't know. I don't know where it go. What do we go? 30. That's a nice number. Probably gonna hit 30 as we hit 100. Maybe before we hit 100. Actually, yeah. And then 36. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like 30 and 36. Those are levels. I could then do the daily. Go back to when it was there. Yeah, you see? So this is where we are. This is what I do when I'm not really recording. I look at this and look for some areas. Um, 30, no, nothing really except the fact that it's just 30. After that, nothing really. It's just a clear 30, sort of 5, 35 and a half. That's it. So I got nothing to say. Just carry on and I'll trim when I think silver's done. And it's not done. Next is EXK. This one, to be honest, it should have taken out 13 already a long time ago, but we're about to do it. And we're going to take out 13 before silver hits 100. Candle's okay. It was up 5.5%. At least you outperformed silver. Um, yeah, fine. See you tomorrow at 13. I'll trim at 12.99 and then just leave the rest, let it run. So I did a bit of trimming. There's a bit of silver trimming, 2.5% maximum. It's pathetic, isn't it? But so far, it's been the best decision. No strong sells. I still think we're going to get through 100 test and the next day maybe get through 100. Then, if I start to see something crazy, some wobbles, then I'll sell a bit harder. But otherwise, even the market going down, we're just acting very, very strong. There's no reason to sell. Long term, short term, geopolitical, monetary, fiscal, macroeconomic, chart, data, news, presidents, ratios, just hold. The juniors I'm not going to go through. I'm going to try and keep it short, although that's quite long. That's it. Beautiful day, new all-time highs, portfolio everywhere. And I think we're just going to continue. But don't forget to take some profit because you've got to realize these gains, slowly but surely. Otherwise, you ride it all the way up and all the way down. In the end, it would have been better to do nothing. So that's why I trim. I get the best of both worlds. If we start to drop, at least I can buy back what I sold and maybe add more. And if it goes higher, worst case scenario, make more money. But I like to sell small, small stuff. Um, and I see no reason to change. All right, that'll do. Enjoy. Good luck. Let's see what happens tomorrow.